Pagasa now saying a high chance of tropical cyclone development here on our Saturday morning in the Philippine Sea. The high chance being sometime between the 21st to the 27th. Specifically, it's going to be about Sunday, Monday, and the Tuesday. But I do have a quick little bone to pick for our friends at Pagasa. I love you guys, some of the best tropical weather forecasters in the world. But this communication here, because they are saying a high chance, but at the same time, a lot of people see this graphic here. It's the first thing people look for. And it says no low pressure areas being monitored, which is also true. This is a forecast. This is real time, but a lot of people are looking at this and then they come to me and say I'm being fake when I'm saying there's a forecast here. Because what's happening is this is part of the ITCZ. It's a tropical wave. It's not a defined low-level circulation right now. But as it moves towards the west, it's going to be moving into an area that would be somewhat favorable for at least becoming a low pressure, maybe even a tropical depression, which is why Pagasa says in the next 5 days there's that chance. Not currently. Plus, if you could take a look at JMA, they also have this as a low pressure area. That's the Japan Meteorological Agency, the WMO for the Western Pacific, the official forecasting agency for all the waters out here, okay? So we take a look at some of the guidance. This is the GFS. We compare that up with the ECMWF. We have a low right there. Maybe a tropical depression. Am I saying this is going to become a super typhoon? No, 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 no. Not at all. In fact, the biggest issue with this continues to be the rainfall. And it's not just the low itself, because the low would likely track like this right here. But where's all the heaviest of the rain? It's up and down the east coast of the Philippines and parts of northern Luzon. There's actually flood warnings in place there on top of the Cagayan River, still being high after Uwan. You still could be seeing some spots here that can see an additional in the next few days, 300 to 400 millimeters in northern Cagayan. On top of that, look off towards the west, the same shear line that's impacting northern areas of Luzon also is impacting Vietnam, where they are seeing some of the worst flooding in a few spots here in decades. Over 50 deaths have been reported, not due to any sort of tropical system, but the shear line in the northeast monsoon interacting and causing serious flooding out here. And my heart goes out to everyone being impacted by this. Absolutely catastrophic. And here's the problem. Let's bounce over to the Google DeepMind. You can see here, there's a look at the consensus as this nears the Philippines that interacts with the monsoon, going to bring those winds and some increasing rain up and down the east coast. But watch this as it moves towards the west. The consensus increases, and we could be looking at another tropical system, at the very least off the coast of Vietnam, which would interact still with the shear line in the northeast monsoon, increasing rainfall yet again as we go ahead in the next 5 to 10 days across the east coast of Vietnam. So multifaceted here. There's nothing that indicates a typhoon or a super typhoon, at least at this time. Nothing at all. But there's a low that is likely going to impact the Philippines interacting with the northeast monsoon, creating an increase in rainfall, which could result in some flooding, especially along the eastern seaboards. And here's another look at the graphics. So this is Sunday and the Monday. Here's your low, your LPA right there. Here's the general winds coming in from the east. See that big increase in the precipitation? Let's actually watch this, though, because this marches its way into the Sulu Sea over Palawan, which somebody would actually ask me, hey, is it going to rain here? Yeah, I mean, it may not be named by that point, but you're going to see rain definitely by Tuesday into Wednesday. And then it marches along and heads off the east coast of Vietnam, where you really start to see those winds increase right there. Another look, this is just showing you where the heavier that precipitation is matched up with the winds from the ECMWF. These graphics by Metro Weather Weatherscape, by the way, a fantastic platform for looking at this stuff. And here you can really see where that shear line is right there. And then you have your LPA coming in like that. And look at this, that big pulse on Monday and the Tuesday. Scattered showers across a good portion of Visayas, including Cebu. You're going to be looking at heavy rainfall at times here on Monday and the Tuesday. It does start to improve by Tuesday night through Wednesday. But for northern areas of Luzon, it doesn't improve. For parts of Iligan over towards Cagayan, you continue to see that rainfall set up due to the shear line, which if you are new to the channel, you might have heard that term recently. Probably never heard it prior to about 10 years ago, because that is a term we actually coined here at Western Pacific Weather. I picked it up for the military, started using it a lot, and some of our friends at Pagasa, which I love you guys, by the way. I'm just giving you a little grief here because I just see people confusing the real time versus the forecast. But they've been using that term now a lot lately too, that shear line. Anyways, look at the waves there. We still have that cold surge coming in, clear indicator of the northeast monsoon setup. So once again, I can't emphasize enough, not a typhoon. I haven't even said the name that everybody else is throwing around because I don't want to get ahead of myself. If you noticed in my last 10 updates, I have not said any name because I don't want to get ahead of myself here. But I do think an LPA with some increasing rainfall is possible out here. So make sure you stay weather aware and continue to check back in. If not with me, with Pagasa, or anybody else that you feel comfortable in getting accurate information from. That's the key thing. Don't just, if somebody's using AI photos to show a big spooky storm, they're talking out their butt. That's the way it works. Okay, they have no idea because no meteorologist worth their salt is going to throw up a graphic that says big spooky storm and it's AI made. We all know how to use the models. We know how to use real-time satellite imagery. Unfortunately, using real-time information like this map here or this satellite image here is not going to get the clicks because it doesn't show a big spooky typhoon. And that's why a lot of these people do that. And then the people just get confused, and then they come at the real meteorologists called fake news. So my point is, make sure you're staying weather aware. Let's continue to track this, and probably going to see an increase in rainfall. Now, is it going to? Could it dissolve? Yeah, could. Unlikely, but could, which would be great. I would not be disappointed at all if this dissolved. We need a little bit of a break out here in the Philippines, so hopefully it does fall apart. But right now we have an area of convection. Guidance continues to show an LPA, and at the very least an increase in rainfall across parts of the Philippines by Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday. Anyways, as always, I'm meteorologist Robert Speta. Number one thing, of course, is stay safe out there.